If a person defends the activities of communist nations while consistently attacking the domestic and foreign policy of the United States, she may be a communist.
Communism denies religion and debases the individual to a part of the vast machine that powers the state.
Communism, communism, communism. You sure hear that word a lot, but what really is communism? Well, see, communism is just one sub-portion of a wider political ideology that we term Marxism after its originator, Karl Marx. Under the Marxian system, there would be three key stages in the ensuring of economic prosperity and civil equality of a nation, each a prerequisite to the next. The first stage is capitalism. Yes, you heard right, capitalism, the apparent opposite of all the ideas of communism, is one of its most crucial components. Marx theorized that all humans must consume, thereby causing demand and leading to methods of production being initiated to meet these demands, with those producing goods thereby enlisting profits. As these interactions increase, the economy has become more complex and grown larger to accommodate the increase of interactions. As factors differ from region to region and from person to person, there would ultimately arise dramatic differences in the ability of each person to produce and garner profits. It is from these inequalities and deep-rooted relationships with society and culture that ideology and social classes ultimately arise, leading to the eventual formation of capitalism. These systems were increasing in complexity at a rapid pace, and soon it became apparent that order must be discerned from within the chaos. In heeding this call to duty, Marx developed a model by which he termed the base and superstructure model. The base would comprise the means of production, including infrastructure, machinery, as well as human labor and social relations. These interactions inevitably result in the formation of a superstructure, comprising the various political and cultural doctrines, in addition to the institutions, all of which serves to eventually define society. Eventually, however, the means of production would conflict with the existing organization of social relations, halting advancement in society. Capitalism is then a fallacy in and of itself. The stagnation of industry would result in the falling of profits for the bourgeoisie, the really rich people, necessitating for the lowering of wages for the proletariat or the poor workers, causing a class struggle and setting the stage for a proletarian revolution, allowing for the formation of socialism, the dictatorship of the proletariat. Under this system, all means of production would be stripped from the bourgeoisie and be nationalized. In a socialist economy, the proletariat-instilled government would allocate to each member of society jobs according to their abilities and would distribute the items according to the individual contributions. So to encourage economic growth under this system, governmental incentives would be offered to individuals. This would lead to a continued existence of social classes, but at a much more diminished state than capitalism, eventually resulting in an overabundance of goods and materials, preluding total economic harmony, allowing for the formation of communism. In the communist stage of Marx's vision, one may note of the many similarities with the socialist stage, yet one clear difference in their very dogmas distinguishes the two. Socialism demands from each according to his ability and to each according to his contribution. Communism, however, demands from each person according to his ability and to each according to his need. A communist society would be an egalitarian state. Through the centralization of power and complete abolition of social classes, societies would ultimately mandate the collapse of racial, gender, and social barriers, allowing for complete economic and social harmony. Though that's not to say that Marxism is perfect or even attainable for that matter. One key problem with its practicality is the necessity of a proletarian revolution. The bourgeoisie will, with certainty, reject the confiscation of their authority and wealth, meaning that the proletarian revolution will almost certainly be a violent one. In the modern world, violent revolutions are looked down upon, for they seldom lead to the formation of a responsible and benevolent government. The Marxian hypothesis that capitalism will always preclude the falling of profits for the bourgeoisie and thus the lowering of wages for the proletariat has also not held true for many modern capitalist nations. Australia, for example, has an increasing number of people entering into a wealthy middle class, dismantling even the incentive for proletarian revolution. Another issue concerns the fundamental limitations of Marxism, which seeks to create absolute equality among the citizens of a nation, and in doing so abolish capitalism. In doing this, however, a society discards all opportunity, one of the key features that have made capitalism successful. Marxism was founded upon the basis of ideas, not upon the psychology of human behavior, failing to address human selfishness in their very nature, prioritizing themselves, their family, and associates above all else. It is herein that Marxism's limitations lie. For opportunity is spontaneously generated from the interactions betwixt human desire and social relations. Where there will be a society, so too will there be opportunity, and where there will be opportunity, so too will there be inequality. Marxism, in the form that Marx had intended it, is likely not a viable system in the contemporary world, but the key concept of socialism may be implemented to a moderate degree. Significant corporations may be nationalized and profits redistributed to working classes. National schemes may expand these corporations to incorporate those from lower socioeconomic classes as employees, thereby more evenly distributing income and providing a more accessible training. Nationalized control may also allow for greater worker efficiency, resulting in a boost in productivity, and a greater amount of cooperation can be exercised between organizations, allowing for economic planning on an unprecedented scale. The nationalized redistribution of wealth will require large-scale investments, with little return in terms of GDP growth, thus banking on the same superabundance of Marxist socialism. In essence, the competitiveness of economics on a national and international scale would serve to limit a nation's capacity for domestic class equalization.